So I just made this meme and I was really into it because I feel like it really does kind of shift the perspective to a more mature aspect. And I like that because I am 34 years old and I do tend to joke around and all of that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm immature. I'm actually am in the, I can call it the earliest years of the late stages of my life. And so it's like romance, intimacy, maturity, that's all just adult things. But as far as a relationship, I feel like genuinely, if two adults are interested in each other, it has a template that is not as emotional and definitely a lot more structural, you know? Because you do it consciously and because you're considering taking on a partner without anything critical for the aspect of just kind of making life work together, which is great, you know? So you do things together, but like you date, right? Periodically, because as adults, you are pretty busy. I'm pretty busy. I mean, I do work my work hours, but right now I'm in between living situations and I'm kind of rebuilding that whole aspect of life. But it really hasn't stopped my character from wanting to pursue the dating aspect, even given the circumstances. Yeah, it may seem kind of weird, but it really doesn't do much weight to it. It's like, yeah, I may not be inviting you over to my place to cook a nice dinner and host, but it doesn't mean that I'm not open to going somewhere and having a nice dinner and having conversations that is not with distractions and things like that. It's all about the atmosphere. And when it comes to mature dating, I think the atmosphere is something that really puts focus and attention where it needs to be, you know? And so you're sitting at this restaurant, you're sitting at this jazz lounge, you're sitting at this place that is social and lively because you just want the atmosphere around you, and you're having conversations, right? Good conversations you don't have with your friends, conversations that are fun, right? Questions, you ever want to get married? Oh, no. You know, you got stories. Oh, you ever have children? Oh, no, let me tell you about this. You have stories, you know? Tell me about some of your exes. Oh, no, let me tell you this one. You have stories. Why? Because you are not really being judgmental. You're opening and embracing a person from you're respecting the fact that you're older in age and you have had experiences. You have stories. You have stuff that you can talk about, and it's not something that you weigh critically, you know? If I'm with a woman and we're on a date, she probably wants to know my whole situation. Why are you in California? What happened when you were living in Ohio? Why did you decide to come out here? What's your plan? What's your plan with this? What's your plan with that? Those are fun adult questions because as adults, it is what it is. And as mature dating, you just kind of have that open communication, you know, without distractions, in a good atmosphere. And making that meme, that last little imagery conversation, really put the scope on adult connections and things like that. And it sounds great. It's something that you would probably fantasize about seeing in a movie, you know, those little random texts. Like, imagine if you got like 3 texts a week. Hey, dinner tonight, 8? Yes, smiley face. See you there. That's about it. You know, literally. It's a weirdness, and that's why I think it's a weirdness from going from wanting to talk to really just not wanting to talk, but still wanting to engage and do things, you know? And I think that's just the best way to go about it, you know? I sit in the cafe all day, and some people go out and they have these dates, and they probably set it up that way. Hey, do you want to go get a coffee this weekend? They're like, sure. And you go to a nice atmosphere where there's nice music, where there's lively, and you can kind of take the pressure off of anything, you know, constrictive, and you have a nice adult time getting to know someone, maturity and all that stuff. Sounds great to me. That's what that little meme thing kind of put that into aspect, like, yeah. Because sometimes I feel like I come off as being kind of like, I don't want to say airy-fairy, but I definitely have a lot of character. I definitely have a lot of character. I wanted to be a voice actor when I was younger, so that might have some explanation to it. And my bag got stolen, but I think I found another dog leash, which, yeah, I'll keep that too. And other aspects of adult relationships that we pursue and things like that. And it really just comes down to being honest with the other person about who we are as a person. That's where it comes into connection, because I feel like as adults, I mean, deal breakers are really kind of like, I don't know what to do. Like, there's nothing about my life that I would see as someone being a deal breaker. But like, if people want to know, like, oh, have you ever been arrested? I've had a few charges. And you want to know about that. You want to know how you got that assault charge, or that criminal trespassing charge, or that misdemeanor drug charge, and all that. Those are questions that I'm like, oh yeah, let me tell you what happened. Because I know it's hard, because everybody wants to come off as a good person, and they want to try to hide all their flaws and all of that, which is more or less a person who is just unwilling to accept that they have maybe made mistakes in their past, or maybe they were in the victim situation. I mean, mind you, there's some lines you just don't even want to cross. It's like, you know, you ever ask a woman, you ever have a bad relationship? She's like, oh yeah, I've had a bad relationship. Generally, you don't really want to know the details of it. But she still might comment on and say, it was just terrible. It was just, maybe she wanted to ask that. I don't know. But just stuff like that. The mature aspect of dating. Yes, I am in the middle. I am in between homes. I am working. I have to do all these things. Work, save, get a car. Last I checked, my credit was like a 640. I have to get all my finances back in order. And as far as living arrangements, I mean, yeah, I would like to get an apartment, get some credit, work towards a house. But there's so many other factors around that, career, affordability, and things like that. So it's like, I don't know if that's a part of a process of life that you have to achieve, or if you just to say, fuck it. It's still on the goal of ambition, you know? But I feel like one thing at a time. A lot of people, they really want to find the perfect partner who can kind of eliminate a lot of the uncertainty of progression. And it's like, I mean, I've tried to do that kind of stuff in the past with my own life. While I was working at a factory, I was making good money, I was saving, I was building my credit, you know, one thing at a time. But for me, when it comes to relationships and dating, I generally like to steady out my life to the point of having that set routine, which is why me thinking about relationships and things like that and in the situation that I'm in now is kind of like, really, Adrian, like, really? And I'm telling myself, like, yeah, fuck it, why not? And you know, it's like, do you have an alternative agenda? Are you looking for, like, no, I'm 34, I've never been married, I don't have any children, I'm still available to the old aspect, I'm still in the prime youth years of my life, and it just seems like something that I'm completely okay with, so long as I can find the right type of quality partner that, by comparison, can give me the feedbacks that I was not getting from previous partners, which is, you know, honesty, you know, realness, communication, vulnerability, you know. I think it really does take a lot, because as adults, we generally have so much shit that we had to get through to get back to this level of stasis. We don't even want to look back, you know. But it just depends on your mentality around life and all of that stuff. So it's like, yeah. Right now, for me personally, on observation, it might not be a good time to try to focus on a mature relationship that is consciously put forth in effort to settle down, get married, have children, and tack off some of those things that we put on the list of it. if you've been paying attention to the stuff I post, you can see I've really been putting a lot of thought and contemplation into various aspects of my relationship statuses and maturities and expectations and things like that, because I'm taking it seriously. I've come from, I don't want to be in the relationship where all you do is just sit around and drink and fuck and exist, because it seems like, I don't want to hang out with my partner, you know what I mean? I don't want to hang out with the woman who I would like to get married to and have children. I would like us to have a general vibe, but you say you want to hang out? No, I don't want to hang out. And that's why I think I like that, because then the last aspect of a relationship, I was not available. Like, I was available, but not available. And it was a problem with this woman, this other woman, because she needed someone who was going to always be available. And I was not, working full time, don't want to text all the time, don't want to talk on the phone all the time, open to like going out every Sunday, or, come over and watch some movies with me once a week or so, But it's like structure. And I really like that, because again, my time is my time, and I'm still trying to, I think it's because I want to do things what I deem is not the right way, but just a way that doesn't give me any turbulence to the whole thing. In truth. And so it's like, maybe I come across women who just generally aren't interested at all, or maybe they're doing their own bit of contemplation and things like that around the whole aspect of it. Mind you, me talking about relationships in this context has nothing to do with like alternative lifestyle relationships or anything. It is a real black and white, genuine, mature relationship that two adults are seeing as a prospect for a chance without, I don't know, what, issue. But at the same time, there's as myself speaking for myself, I still have to kind of get some things in order, right? Like the last woman I'm interested in, she told me she lives with her parents. It's like, okay, it's a pretty expensive city, yada, yada, yada. I'm not from here. I am probably going to have to find a way to allocate my own living space, Work, save, get a car, and be that roundabout stable guy so that I mentally can see, yeah, I'm open for a relationship, But it's optimism. It gives me something to work towards, but I literally have to get through like the next month and a half. And it is what it is, It is what it is, But I'm so optimistic about it because I like to think that I am just getting away from all the immaturity of my past. And I would really like to try something that is conceptualize, or if that might be the right word to it. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just, fishing in the air for dreams, but I don't know. It makes sense to me. And it's just that little meme thing. It's like, it makes sense to me, So in a nutshell, I guess this video was about availability, structure, context, and maturity, And the idea sounds great, right? The idea sounds like really really mature, really thing. Even though when the ball gets going, we're still gonna laugh, run around, and act as if we're still teenagers as adults, which is what the love comes down to, in a sense, And it also depends on what kind of person you are. If you're, let's just go out to the pool hall, get a pitcher, order some wings, and watch the game. Or it's like, no, let's go to a restaurant, maybe they got music playing, or, let's go to an art museum, yada, yada, yada. or this or that or da da da, you know. Me personally, I really don't need anything extravagant because as a guy, it's like I still feel like I'm supposed to like find these grounds of dating. But my whole thing is I'm in a new city. I don't really know what's around here. And I'm kind of a nerd. So it's like, I think that just comes down to my archetype. I sit at the coffee shop and I see various people coming in. You got your suit wearers. You got your sport jockeys. You got your kind of cool guys, your kind of chill guys. I look at the cars people drive. You got your pickup truck. You got your sports car. You got your minivan. You got your little coupe, you know. All of these things I look at as to being definitive of our character in a sense, you know. You know what I mean? And because I make this comparison because off the get-go, you'll look at me and think, oh, you dress like you're in your early 20s. You drink way too much coffee. You chain smoke, you're vaping now, and it's like you just don't seem like the kind of guy, the kind of man that I would be into. You just seem like a guy. I just don't see you as being the man type. And it's like, that's just, you know, I don't know. I mean, I get it. You know, I totally get it. I do. It's because I'm so full of life and I still have young spirit. And that's never going away. It's never going away. It's never going away, you know? And I don't mind, you know? Maybe I'm just a fun guy. But I guess it all just comes down to what women admire in what they perceive as being a long-term relationship partner, you know? Because some women have different highlights to people that they're into. Maybe they want a man who is financially in power, you know what I mean? Like he's got his shit, boom, 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 you know? Or maybe they want a guy who's kind of laid back, you know? He kind of just likes to hang out, you know, he works and shit, you know? Maybe she likes a guy who is more literary, you know? He likes to read but I think women like a guy who works. Like me, myself, I'm a line cook. I've had various jobs. If I had to put it on a way to word it, the most mature job I had was working a factory. Right. But at this point, I feel like a job is a job. And it's like, you ever want a career? Look, man, I went to college to try to get my bachelor's in psychology when I was in my mid-20s. Didn't pan out. Now, as long as I can work, pay my bills, I think I'll be fine. It won't make life a hell of a lot easier. It's going to require me to have a little bit more discipline. I feel like everyone is saying it's smart to try to find ways to accumulate more money, more savings, and things like that. It's just a responsible thing to do. And it's like, yeah, well, I'm 34 years old. I have no college degree, and I pretty much am gonna just work it. Just work, you know? Like, maybe I'll win the lottery. So, by comparison, maybe I'm not a great guy at all. Maybe I'm kind of lame. Maybe I'm not that alpha that, you know, women fantasize about, you know? Maybe I don't give a fuck. But as far as like mature relationships and things like that, and you know, I could say that, but it's like, it's not like the women that I've had in my previous relationship, romantic inclinations have had any of that, because we're all new into our 30s, you know? Some people are sitting more well about, some people aren't, and maybe some people are more prone to the idea of stability, success, and progression, and some people are like, you know, they make ends meet. Some couples some couples may mutually aspire to want a house. Other couples may just mutually be cool with just living in an apartment. I think stuff like that is something that you can communicate about, because it's not about, if we are matching in goals. Again, teamwork is contribution, you know? It's like, Adrian, what do you want to do with your life? I was talking to a woman that I was kind of interested in, and, you know, she's like, I'm taking a trip to the end of the year. And I'm like, it's always been kind of a dream of mine to kind of want to live internationally, you know? And in the grand aspect of it, would that be a thing? Would it not be a thing? Immaturity would be, he wants to do this, so I shouldn't stop him. Maturity would be like, I mean, if you want to do that, that's cool, but I would hope that you wouldn't. That kind of stuff. At least that's what makes sense to me. I realize that some people are like, I don't want to mess up his flow of what he wants to do. I don't want to mess up her flow of what she wants to do. And it's like, maybe people want their flow messed up. Maybe they don't see it. Maybe they don't see it as their flow being messed up at all. Maybe they see like, man, I actually wouldn't mind. Da 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 da. Blah 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 blah. All that stuff. I'm just ranting off. Yeah, that's all I got. That's it. I still feel kind of dorky, nerdy, and I do still feel like I'm the same guy that I've been from 17 to 24 to 28 to 32 to now. Yeah, I guess I'm real, genuine, eccentric, and 100% authentic with my character. That's it. I'm walking home from work. That's it.